Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network tonight. The Top Gun Cup for UCRL heads to the Finger Lakes region up in upstate New York to Watkins Glen for the road race here. And tonight it's going to be the Forever Panels 125 at Watkins Glen. This is it's a road course, and Jimmy, I know me and you have plenty of time on road courses. We've done plenty of vehicles on road courses. These 87s are not your typical road car. I mean, obviously they did it back then, but this thing it handles differently. It's obviously you really get to experience the boatiness here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I mean these vehicles do float a lot more than your typical vehicles around here. They're just heavy, and you really got to learn how that weight transfers from one corner to the next. And we've had our fair share of running the 87s here, same configuration that they're running tonight here. And it is a lot of fun, and it is a lot challenging. Last week most of these drivers here from UCRL were in the Gen 4s at Sonoma, so I don't know if they're really loving the back-to-back weeks and road courses and cars that don't drive too well on road courses, but they're going to finish that up, get this out of the way, and move on with the rest of the season. But right now, the person on top right now is Travis Bennett with a 116, followed by Chris Camidlin.
Yeah, and you want to talk about the guy that is looking forward to tonight. It's the man right there on top. Travis Bennett is he's what these guys consider one of their road course specialists. And from what I hear last week at Sonoma with the Gen 4s, didn't exactly get the finish that he would have liked to. So certainly going to look to right the ship and get himself into victory lane here tonight. And taking a look at the standings so far for the season. Travis Bennett has not been at every race here so far, and he only has 2 top 5s on the season, so he would love to come out here and get the win and just really feel good about this season. But the man that's been dominating all season has been Andrew Ratcliffe, as he's got 5 wins out of the 11 starts that he had. He's got a pretty healthy lead. I believe it's a 156 point lead over his teammate Grady Gherkin. Jacob Lesh sits in third, a good margin back, 355 back from the leader. And then Eric Jeffers is another 100 points back in fourth. Justin Kirby is another 17 points back in fifth. As Kirby looking to try and make a run up the standings here. Stuart Alford, Peter Bozuchek, Brent Kirby, Scott Bolster, and Trevor Hunt rounding out your top 10 in the point standings for the individuals. Looking over at the team standings, you got Turner Burn Racing at the top of the boards. No surprise there, as they got the 2 top individual drivers in the point standings. But Black Magic Motorsports making a nice little mid-season run here, and it's gotten them into second place by a pretty good margin over Full Throttle Motorsports in third. Sprunk International, Midpack Motorsports, Inca Salsa Racing, and No Lift Motorsports round out your 7 teams here tonight. But we've got Travis Bennett at the top of the boards, but not by a big margin. Tommy Ryan out there putting in a good lap there in the 60, as he's only about 0.02 of a second off the pace. But Jimmy, I mean, we obviously, again, have a lot of road course racing experience here, but when it comes to these cars here at Watkins Glen, what are kind of the things that you need to look forward to, and the things that are going to happen one way or another? Is it really just worried about the entry? Is it worried about getting that thing to rotate? Did I lose you, Jimmy?
I know what I am having everybody ignore me as I put myself on mute as I was doing something in the background. But no, I mean, the drivers out here, they have to take care of their tires a little bit. It's easy to slide this car around and burn them up pretty quickly. They do drive with a full tank of gas. So I mean, trying to get them tires to last the whole stint is going to be a challenge in itself to maintain it on the track. As they're putting down some burners now, getting the best qualification spot that they can. But they also gotta, braking isn't the best, so just gotta be careful, and patience plays a big part. And if you have a clean race, and most of the times in older cars like this, it will usually grant or get you a really good finish. And I think here tonight it's going to be like no other. But there's a lot of skill with these drivers, and I know some of them are not a big fan of road courses, but they have a lot of skill with this car. So we'll see if we can get some of them ovalers up to the front here as Justin Kirby takes over that pole position over Travis Bennett.
We have 14 guys here in the session looking to take the green flag here tonight as we get about 3 minutes left in qualifying. Still waiting to see if JP Phillips, Trevor Hunt, Brent Kirby, or Chris Bouchard are going to get a time in. Looks like Hunt should be able to get one in here on this lap by. And Watkins Glen, one of those tracks where it's a little more forgiving when it comes to the off tracks. A little more forgiving when it comes to some runoff spots as well. Obviously, turn number 1, you can certainly run it wide if need be. You're going to get an X for doing so, and you're going to get your lap time deleted if you're in qualifying. But a little bit up on the curb, you really need to be. You really want to try and get as much of that curb, especially before you make that turn into the S's here. It just kind of sets it up for a nice even flow through the S's. Not much room going up through there, kind of a bit of a cattle chute, and you don't want to go too wide through there. It sucks enough just going single file. But the bus stop here is one where you see these guys, they're taking a ton of curb, and it's for multiple reasons. 1, it's going to try and shorten it up. 2, it's going to try and straighten it up. And 3, you kind of need to hammer those curbs to help this car rotate through the corner. Going through the carousel and then exiting the carousel, these guys can take a lot of leeway going up and over that curb, and it's not a penalty go on the asphalt right there. A little bit of a runoff here out of the penultimate corner, but you don't want to get too far up into that curb. It will give you an X there. And then finally the last corner here, you just need to make sure you're getting the power down as quick as possible without getting that back in that, without pushing, getting in that wall. And that is your lap around Watkins Glen.
Yeah, not too bad of a lap there by Trevor Hunt as turn a 116.8, good enough for a starting position of 6 so far, as we only have a minute and 10 seconds remaining for any of the rest of the drivers to get a lap in. So looks like JP Phillips, Brent Kirby, and Chris Bouchard are going to go ahead and start from the back as we have 14 drivers here tonight, like we were talking about. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good one, Carl. Track temperatures, I don't think we're too bad. If I can pull up the weather here on the side, yeah, 77 degrees track temperature. Nope, sorry, excuse me. Track temp's 112. It's 77 degrees out, clear.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so yeah, these drivers are really going to have a challenge, and we know from having higher track temps how tight the cars can really get with the track being as hot as it is.
Yeah, I think it's another thing we have plenty of experience in, thanks to yours truly. All those hot tracks that make you guys run over there in core. But we are just about finished up with qualifying. Looks like nobody is out on the track, so this is going to be your starting order. So, Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of the grid for Watkins Glen?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and give a quick rundown of the drivers here tonight. As of right now, the 11 drivers that have put in time will be Justin Kirby, Travis Bennett, will be on the front row, then Tommy Ryan and Matthew Simmons, then Grady Gherkin and Trevor Hunt, and then Jake Lesh and Chris Camidlin. Andrew Ratcliffe and Peter Pazuchek will be row number 5. Row number 6 will be Jeff Ryan and Brent Kirby, and then row number 7 will be JP Phillips and Chris Bouchard for our 14 car field here at Watkins Glen International.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good one. Should see some newer faces up here as well. You see the man that's been dominating out here this season, Andrew Ratcliffe, starting way back there in 9th. So probably a season low starting spot for him. You have his teammate Grady Gherkin up here in 5th place, and he's kind of a bit of a sleeper here when it comes to the road courses. But yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on the guys in that front row. I think it's going to be a pretty good battle between Justin Kirby and Travis Bennett. If Travis Bennett can keep it clean and maybe a good breakaway here and grab the lead. But if these guys get to battling, the guy right there in 3rd, Tommy Ryan, certainly going to be licking his chops to try and get in the mix of that thing. Matthew Simmons, a good starting spot up here in 4th place. I think is one of the highest starting spots we've seen him in the 49 out here tonight. So some fresh storylines here, and that's what a road course will do for you when you got a bunch of guys out here. They're typically running oval races, and now we're here at Watkins Glen for the Forever Panels 125.
Yeah, so the Forever Panels 125 Watkins Glen International, sponsored by this man right here in the 86, Chris Camidlin. So doubling down and helping the league out with tonight's race. So wish the best to Chris as he starts 6th here tonight at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It was on Justin Kirby one here showing Chris Camidlin, so I'm not sure what was going on there. At least on my view, it might have been not correct on your view, but but yeah, we are rolling here, and these guys will take a full pace lap around here, and wondering how much it's going to be, saving tires compared to saving fuel at this track. I think it's going to be one where you really need to focus on saving your tires and just having something to make it all the way there on fuel. But not sure what is going on the front row, because it is Justin Kirby on the front row as he had the pole, but Matthew Simmons is the one lining up on the outside, as I don't see that Travis Bennett or Chris Bouchard have joined. So I'm not sure if they're having any kind of computer issues, internet issues, or what the case is, but one of the men that we expected to see running for this win, and questionably the odds-on favorite here, he's not in the field right now.
Yeah, and I know Chris, the Internet Gremlins, were kind of back last week. And I don't know if maybe they showed back up again this week. I don't know if he says he usually is able to practice just fine, but when it comes to lining up for the race, it just kind of kicks in. But these guys are down around the carousel now, heading into the final few turns, getting ready to go green. And Travis Bennett, I see him. I don't have him connected right at the moment,
No,
so hopefully Travis can get back into this as they start, and there's plenty of time here, as there's 51 laps that they'll be doing here for 125 miles, and this is going to be a good one here, and hopefully the remaining field will put on a great show for us here tonight.
I see our fearless leader, Scott Bolster, is not in the session, so I'm not sure if we have the caution rules that he typically implies here. But either way, we are green flag racing. Barney waving that flag, and we head down into turn 1. Justin Kirby getting a great start. Tommy Ryan jumping right up to the inside there on Matthew Simmons. Going to look to go side by side through turn 1, very tight. Looks like Ryan's going to have the edge, and he will move into second place. Simmons falls into third. You got Gherkin in fourth, and side by side going into the S's for the first time. And I said you don't like to go side by side, and there you go. You see Jake Lesh backing out, but you see he backs out a little bit late, and he's not going to get that good run coming out of the S's. And Camidlin right there, but he's going to back out, and we're going to go single file into the bus stop.
Yeah, let's figure out how to run through the chopper, kind of watch these guys as they travel through the bus stop, down into the through the bus stop, down around the carousel. You can see how they kind of hug the inside, and then as they get to the apex, they'll be on the throttle, and they're going to drift out wide, carry as much speed as possible heading into the final turns.
Yeah, I'm still wondering what's going on here, because it's jumping around from car to car when it's everybody's Chris Camidlin out here. So I guess if you pay enough for the sponsorship of the race, you're just everybody. You can collect whoever's points you want to get here. But now it's on Chris Camidlin, but it's showing Matthew Simmons. So yeah, I hopefully it's everything's good on your side over there, Jimmy, and on the broadcast. But for me, it's kind of funny. So it's a good thing that these guys run pretty much the same paint scheme week in and week out. It makes it easier for me to pick out who I'm actually watching, and not who the SDK is telling me to. There's always some kind of little gremlins on my side. It's week in and week out.
I don't know. I mean, you're making me second guess myself. I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, nope, everything is perfectly fine. So I don't know what you're talking about. I got track map up, boards up.
I'm showing Justin Kirby right now, even though it's showing it's on Andrew Ratcliffe back here. So yeah, it's all kinds of funky. So and it could be me. It could be just from reloading the new session here. But either way, we are out here, we're racing, and a good start by everybody. We're single file all the way through. No battles yet to speak of, but all these guys are still pretty much nose to tail until you get back to the last couple as Jeff Ryan and JP Phillips falling off the back of the field here a little bit. But a late dive in here by Andrew Ratcliffe, tries to get to the inside of Midland for position, and he's actually going to lose one as Porzuchek goes around the outside and moves himself up into 8th.
Yeah, Peter Porzuchek is, he's quiet and he's a very clean driver. One of our Canadians out here, and I've watched him do some road racing on his Twitch channel, VVice. So if you want to follow him over there on his Twitch channel, he'd be happy to have you over there as well. But he comes out here and he does his best as he basically the ovals is kind of like to help him learn this side of things and kind of put himself outside the comfort zone and take some of the things that he learns with these older cars and put it to his road racing side of the house to make himself better. So, but you should see a pretty good showing here as he has shown a little bit of speed here, and hopefully he can fall in a good spot here tonight and get in the groove as it's very early, as we're only on lap 3 of 51 with Justin Kirby out front, then Matthew Simmons, Grady Gherkin, Tommy Ryan, Trevor Hunt, Jake Less, Chris Midland, Peter Porzuchek, Andrew Ratcliffe, Brent Kirby, JP Phillips, and Jeff Ryan for the 12 cars that are on the track. And unfortunately, it looks like the internet gremlins, they might be plaguing Carl on that side with the SDK, but they've really gotten Chris Bouchard and Travis Bennett here tonight.
I figured it out. It was a mistake on me. I'm not going to blame my SDK on this one or the gremlins.
Okay, SDK is great for tonight.
It was taking what you were doing and who you were showing, but it was on local. So instead of a copy broadcaster. So yeah, my dumbness. But we've got Peter Porzuchek doing a great job as he makes another pass, getting past Chris Midland there, and Midland having some issues. He's going to fall back a few spots. And he's going to fall behind Ratcliffe and Brett Kirby back there, but it is Justin Kirby at the front. Matthew Simmons is in second place, trying to run him down as Tommy Ryan has fell back to 4th place now as Grady Gherkin moves into 3rd. Trevor Hunt is in 5th, Jake Lesh in 6th. Then you got Peter Porzuchek, Andrew Ratcliffe, Brett Kirby, Chris Midland, JP Phillips, and Jeff Ryan rounding out your 12-car field. And you see just a wide runoff there, and Jeff Ryan going to use it to his advantage for sure. Makes the pass and moves himself back into 3rd.
Yeah, and that's one of the spots that, we were talking when you were walking through the initial lap there, or as we were watching Trevor Hunt, to carry that speed out of the carousel and just keep it going as they could put that car so far to the left. And it's no off track or anything either, and that's like one of the lines obviously that they use around here. So Tommy Ryan on the move, he's up to 3rd place, looking to track down Matthew Simmons and Justin Kirby as they're starting to check out just a little bit by about 3 seconds.
Starting lap 5 right now, so there's laps starting to tick off, but I mean some longer laps here obviously at Watkins Glen, so there's passing opportunities here at Watkins Glen, but it's kind of tough with these cars. You really need to make sure you're getting the exit. You gotta maybe hope that the guy in front of you has a bit of a bobble or doesn't get the traction down to try and set up a pass, because you have some straightaways, and if you look at the track, it's arguably one of the straightest road courses there are. I mean, heck, even the bus stop technically has a little straightaway in it, but these cars don't have that good a draft that quick. So you really need to make sure that you're setting up that pass, either diving in late, which is really, really tough and sketchy with these cars, especially with this temperature out here. You're just asking to kind of push through the corner or even push into your competitors out there. So it's really just working on those exits, getting the power down, and you see right here, Porzuchek not exactly getting a power down out of the last corner. Ratcliffe going to try and take advantage around the outside. Porzuchek is going to turn
that was
across
unfortunate.
as he tried to brake, and unfortunately right across into Brent Kirby.
It's just trying to get it really deep in there, and he ends up locking it up. and spin the car. Oops, I hit the live button too soon. Let me do that again. As basically, as you can see that the Peter is going down to the inside, looking for a later braking, but starts his braking and gets the rear end loose, cuts over in front of Brent, and small incident there on an early lap here of lap 6. So that's gonna take them two out, and they'll probably have to, hopefully they can get their cars around and back into the pits to get their cars repaired and get to take that fast repair, as you know, just a little mistake, and unfortunate there as the tires locked up. So it's kind of one of those things with these cars, once they start sliding, you just kind of hope to let off the brakes, and hopefully we can catch it again.
I mean, it didn't look like too much damage to either of those cars, so I would think maybe they try and, well, maybe there's more damage in there than I realize, as Purdue Track having some issues getting around the track here. But it seems like they're well enough that they'll be able to get around here. I mean, I don't see really anything on the front of that Molson Canadian Buick, but Purdue Track is going to bring it in, and maybe there's some underlying wheel damage that's not allowing him to get around there. But Brent Kirby is going to make it around the track here, and he's going to keep it going. And again, I'm not seeing too much. Maybe a little bit of wrinkle up in the front of the grill there, but nothing too major. And this being a road course, you're not worried too much about it.
Now these cars have so much power, it probably negates the lack of straightaway speed, and it might even help you get into some of these corners depending on how the damage affected the car. But yeah, Brent obviously having a little bit of right front damage as he was trying to come up to the field behind Andrew Ratcliffe, but getting involved in that accident there. But right now, the person that is still leading here is Justin Kirby, trying to break away from Matthew Simmons, but Matt is saying, no way, Jose, today might be my race. If Travis Bennett and Chris Bouchard are out, I'm going to try to put this 49 up front.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's fun when you go to these, you know, kind of off tracks, whether it's, you know, you go to a dirt race or you go to a road course race like this, and you get to see some different names up there. You know, Justin Kirby, certainly not a different name. We've seen him up there quite a few times, and have several opportunities to get wins, as he has does have one win on the season here. But good to see him up here battling again. But Matthew Simmons is one that we typically don't see, especially right up at the front here. But he's all over the backside of that 58 right now. Simmons, in his 6th race on the season, only has one top 5 on the season, so it gives you an idea of where we typically see him running, and that's usually kind of towards the back half of the top 10. But right now, he's feeling it here on the road course.
Yeah, you just got to get in your groove when it comes to road races, and especially with these cars, getting that rhythm, and you start feeling how the car is rolling, where your braking points are at, and as the tires wear off, obviously your braking points are going to change. There's a lot of different things here that these drivers can do, but Matthew doing a great job keeping up with Justin Kirby and not letting him get away so far. Tommy Ryan back in 3rd place in the number 60 car in the Northern Hydraulics, trying to catch up to the top 2 there, as he's slowly but surely winding that time down. But you kind of got to wonder, Carl, with it being this early and only 9 laps into the race, is he really chewing at them tires, and is it going to pay off in the end?
Tommy Ryan typically doesn't do that. He seems like he's one that really kind of holds on to his tires, and he's usually a long run type of driver. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's just kind of holding back a little bit right now to try and not run through there, and just really going as wide as he's going on some of these exits, not because he's pushing the car, but because he's trying to just be as easy as possible on these tires. And you see the gap at 2.5 seconds right now, but you don't want to do that right there. You don't want to have a little bit of a wiggle going into the corner, because that's certainly going to scrub off some time as you're sliding it into turn 1.
Yeah, his left rear tire, I believe, hit the grass just momentarily for a small little slide and wiggle there, and he had to catch it. But obviously, Grady Gherkin in the 46 Chevrolet Logitech machine, doing an awesome job as well in 4th place. And it wasn't too long ago he was battling there with Tommy Ryan as he let him go. Then Trevor Hunt up a position here as he is now in 5th place. Jake Lesh is in 6th place in that green BNC machine here tonight. And then Chris Camidlin in 7th. Ooh, it gets a little wild there as he goes for a ride.
To show our spots here tonight.
It wasn't me. I didn't click on him yet. He goes around. There's some heavy damage on that right front of that 850 machine.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the bus stop either, so he probably just got tired of it and decided to go straight, and I don't really blame him. But we'll see. See exactly what happened. I think the grass may have come into play a little bit here too. No, maybe not. Just oof. It's really hard to the right when he got on the brakes, and hard impact into that right wall. He gets turned back around pretty quickly, but that is some severe damage on the front right, and I can't imagine that thing is driving too well right now, and almost looks like he's got a flat tire there.
It's probably driving like a big turd. Like, you get so much damage that sometimes, and you just hope that they'll turn so you can get it down in the pit lane. And you see he's having a little bit of troubles getting it woed up and keeping it straight as he brings it down the pit lane. So another rough incident there by the 86 as he brings it down into pit lane. So some of those people that might be happy that he did that would be Peter Pursuchek and Brent Kirby as they are back out on the track getting things done, and they're gonna make up for time. But it looks like Brent's still keeping that 57 out there with the damage, not taking the fast repair yet. Probably just gonna wait until his time where he needs to pit so he can make it for the rest of the way around here. So
well, speaking of Kirby, we had a bit of an incident here as we got Tommy Ryan at the top of the board, so we needed to come back and take a look what happened between our 2 leaders here. And this is going up through the S's, and a little hot into the S's is the 49 and gets into the back of the 58. They both go spinning. Hard impact from the rear there of the 58. Tommy Ryan was able to scoop by on the inside. You see Peter Pursuchek going by on the inside as well. But Ryan's going to get by, Gherkin's going to get by, and Hunt are going to get by before these guys get straightened back out.
A little bit of whoopsies there by the 58 and the 49. They got tangled up going into the S's, and that's one of them corners. A lot of people, you get such a good run out of one, Carl, sometimes, and you're going into them S's and you're going up them hills and you're like, oh, I can make this pass, but the width of the road just seems to narrow down to a funnel right there, and it's really tough to go too wide up through there unless both drivers give each other room to do so. But I think right there, just the 49 of Matthew Simmons is just a little hot and heavy going into the corner. Just a little love tap, but sends them both around. It's going to end up pushing them back. So hopefully they're fast enough and they can bring those machines as they were starting to run away from the field. But right now, Tommy Ryan's going to take over that lead, and he is out in front by... Let me go here and get this thing all caught up. Yeah, Tommy is out to a 6-second lead over Grady Gherkin in 2nd place.
Yeah, Justin Kirby elects to take the 58 into pit lane to get some repairs done, and hopefully going off cycle like this isn't going to necessarily hurt him too much. He's going to be able to come out there and get into some clean air at least. But Matthew Simmons going to trudge along. He is in 5th place right now. Jake Lesh is going to move him up into 4th place. So a good run by him. Grady Gherkin is in 2nd, but you see just dropping as Matthew Simmons now working around the outside. So certainly not too much damage on that 49 as he's still feeling pretty racy up here. Not going to get it done around the carousel. He's going to cut back inside. and try and get the run down to the penultimate corner. Looks like he does have a run. He's got to the inside, and he is going to make the pass and move himself back into fourth.
Yeah, so Matt Simmons moving his way back to the front early after that small incident with Justin, as Justin has brought that 58 into the pits, and is now back out on track. So we'll see what the full fuel and fresh new tires does for Justin, and will that push them enough to where he can stay out and not come back in. And I think if I look at the pre-race briefings for Watkins Glen, it's looking about 51. Well, it's 51 laps. Trying to see if they gave. Nope, they didn't. I did not leak that information on how far they can go tonight, so I can't give an estimate. So we're as much as in the guessing world as y'all out there. So right now, Barry doing what he does best, for Trevor Hunt tonight, to pull one out, as Trevor is currently in P number 3.
The rundown right now, you got Tommy Ryan out front by about 7.25 seconds over Grady Gherkin. Trevor Hunt, you see him right there, getting pretty close to Grady Gherkin here as he battles in third place right now. Matthew Simmons moved himself back up into fourth around Jake Lesh, who is in P5. Andrew Ratcliffe is up to 6th place, but you see just the road courses are not the same as ovals, and he's got that 24 nice and clean out there, which is what he has to do. That's step one. But I think tonight is just a kind of a cruise night for him. I think he knows he may be overmatched by some of these guys that are a little bit better on the road courses, so he's just kind of cruising around here and probably going to try and look to get a top 5 out of this thing. In 7th place right now is JP Phillips, as he is up 6 positions after starting at 13th, as he's one of the guys that did not qualify here tonight. Brent Kirby right behind him in 8th place, as he's been trying to make amends after that incident with Peter Brzucek earlier in the race, and he's running down JP Phillips right now for 7th. Jeff Ryan back there in 9th place, as he is up 2 spots after starting 11th. In 10th place is Justin Kirby. Obviously, we've seen the incident that he got into with Matthew Simmons. Then he elected to come in the pits there on lap 12. So again, hopefully he can still be on the same kind of pit strategy as everybody else, and maybe we'll see that 58 get back up there yet. Peter Brzucek back here in 11th. Again, getting involved in a bit of an incident in the braking zone into turn 1 and shot across in front of Brent Kirby. And then Chris Medlin, your sponsor here tonight for the Forever Panels 125, back here in 12th position. Both Brzucek and Medlin are down a lap. And then, unfortunately, Chris Bouchard and the man that would have been starting 2nd on the grid, Travis Bennett, both of them could not make the race here tonight, or at least once we got to the race session.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for those two gentlemen not to make it here. As I've had, obviously we've seen them race in the past, and they're got plenty of talent to showcase their skills here on a road course and be up front and lead this thing. But Tommy Ryan, something just happened to Trevor Hunt here. As you can see, the front end of his machine is all crumpled up. So we're gonna go back here, and it looks like Peter Brzucek off to the side.
Another Brzucek braking issue, and Midland right behind him tries to brake hard to stay out of it, but 3 cars getting involved in that one. And I tell you what, not for nothing, Brzucek still has a clean car. I mean, I don't know what he's done. Maybe he's got some Forever Panels on the side of that car. I don't know, but yeah, just tough right there. He tries to brake and tries to get back in line to set up a better entry into the bus stop, and unfortunately, the 58 or 59 of Trevor Hunt just was a little bit slower than he probably anticipated, and then the 86 just loses it by himself right behind, trying to stay out of it. So 3 cars going off in this one, and it can happen just that fast, as Trevor Hunt was up there in 3rd position, and now Matthew Simmons back up into 3rd. He's clearly got a a good amount of time that he's going to make up if he wants to have a chance at this win yet. But at least he got himself back up into the podium, and he just needs 2 more guys to have some issues in front of him.
And you can see how fast that happens. Plenty of race for anybody to make a mistake. As we're only on lap 17 of 51. So, there's still 34 laps remaining here. And it's going to be an interesting one, as I'm sure we'll see some pit stops. And it can, like I said, these hot temperatures eating away these tires could be playing into some of the mistakes that are being made by some of these drivers.
Yeah, and we are not even at halfway yet, as we're on lap 18 right now of 51. So these guys need to find their focus and find it quick if they've lost it there for a little bit. But I will say one thing, and it's Brent Kirby is close to JP Phillips here, and may have a bit of a battle here. But the man behind him is the one I worry about, as the Kirby brothers could get close to each other here. We may not have talked about it for a little bit now, but it's still fresh in my mind. They may want me to try and forget about it, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna be. I don't care if it's a tear off comes off of one of the cars and hits the other one. Something's gonna happen between these guys.
I mean, it has to be a tear off, because these cars definitely don't have no mirrors to be bumping against each other and taking them off. But yeah, Justin's doing a good job coming back up to the field. He's just got to keep it clean, and obviously a little bit of help from the sun in the tracks and people making mistakes to continue to get positions back here, as he's 49 seconds back from Tommy Ryan. So you really need some help to catch up to him, but only 12 seconds back to JP Phillips.
And do I see that Peter Brzucek had another issue here, or is that
yes.
my SDK not catching up? Hard impact there from Andrew Radcliffe. And if that didn't do any kind of damage to that 82, that front right is hanging on.
Oh, it's done.
I don't even think it was hanging on by a tie rod anymore. That thing is done for, and he had to tow it back to the pits. Andrew Radcliffe keeping there pretty hot. I'd be surprised if that thing is running okay yet. I mean, that was a hard impact. The only impact that caused that front right tire to come off was the impact from Andrew Radcliffe, and you see, he tried to make a move to try and avoid him, and it was absolutely the exact wrong move. And
I'm just surprised his hood didn't come up and come up over his windshield, as you see it flop around there with iRacing's damage models. Of really puts a little bit of realism into it. Sometimes a little obscene with some of the damage, but it's nice to see some damage on the cars when mistakes are made. And Andrew Ratcliffe couldn't get that slowed up, but able to continue. But dang it, he destroyed the 82 Peter Brzucek.
Yeah, just a little bit. And we're talking about the guys that had the cleanest cars out here, Andrew Ratcliffe being one of them. And yeah, I don't think that car is handling the same anymore, and I think it's starting to look more like a demolition derby car at this point. Brzucek clearly not clean either.
Choosing to take it one more time around too, as he's brave, Carl, because that machine's really got some damage.
That front left, I don't think that front left is in the correct position inside the car. That thing is buried inside the wheel well right now, but somehow he makes it around turn 1, and
wow.
If I'm anybody behind him right now, I'd be worried.
I almost thought I was watching an ARCA car. You know how their front ends are kind of off-centered, but that's what this 87's looking like right now. But Andrew out there getting this thing around here. But right behind him is Brent Kirby, looking to take over P number 5 from Andrew. So both these cars not in great shape, and hopefully they can pass each other pretty cleanly and not do any more damage to these two cars.
Well, let's be honest, he's trying to take over that position because he's trying to drive as fast as he can. He knows that 58 is not too far behind him, so trying to run away and hide right now. But I can't believe Ratcliffe is getting that thing around. I mean, that thing almost looks like a three-wheeler at this point. You barely even see that front left. It's buried in there so far. But hey, I mean, if he can make it to the fuel stop and and slapping a faster pair in that thing, which it looks like he's going to do right now. Good on him for at least making another lap here. He was in 6th place, but... Or, I'm sorry, yeah, 5th place. So he's going to give that up to Brett Kirby. JP Phillips now going to move up into 6th, and then right behind him there, Justin Kirby is going to move up into 7th. So Kirby's still looking to try and get back in this thing again. He has already pit. He is the first one in line that has pit so far. So we'll see where this thing shakes out once everybody else comes into the pits. We'll see if Kirby has enough to make it all the way to the end on his one pit stop on lap number 12. Trevor Hunt pit on lap number 16 as well. So we'll see if anybody of these guys can make it all the way to the end. But the top 6 right now of Tommy Ryan, Grady Gherkin, Matthew Simmons, Jake Lesh, Brent Kirby, and JP Phillips have yet to pit.
Yeah, and we'll see after. I'm sure they're just trying to get as much time on the track and just keep it clean, as a lot of those drivers have pretty clean cars. You can see Andrew Ratcliffe coming out right there in front of Tommy Ryan, trying to stay on the lead lap, I believe. Yes, he's the last car in the lead lap. Tommy would love to get around him, but obviously Andrew Ratcliffe having fresh tires will play a huge role. We'll see what and how Tommy Ryan handles this. I'm sure he's just going to lay back and kind of let Andrew go, as Andrew's got to push a little bit harder to make up for that time lost with his getting into that incident earlier. So
yeah, and it's a smart thing to do. I mean, he's got a 10.5-second lead right now over Grady Gherkin, so there's absolutely no reason to try and push right now. I'm sure he'd love to put that 24 lap down just to kind of stick it in the crawl a little bit. But yeah, Ratcliffe clearly has fresher tires, and even though he may not have the pace that Tommy Ryan does, if they were on equal tires, he's going to have better pace with the newer ones. I mean, right now, these guys are running about 2 seconds slower than their fastest lap. So I mean, that is a big margin. I mean, their fastest laps are around the mid 117s to the high 117s, and right now your fastest guy on the track that is in the top 6 is Matthew Simmons, running a 1:19.79. So a good 2 seconds, if not more, slower than their fastest laps.
yeah, I just brought up the last lap time for the drivers here. You can see them posting, so they go by and they update. So you can see what drivers are doing the faster speeds, as Justin Kirby and Trevor Hunt doing, yeah, like you're talking about 119s, on a little bit newer tires from the guys that are out there right now doing 120s. So, and even Jake Lesh doing 122s. So Jake Lesh, maybe not the fastest driver out there, but he's kept it clean so far, as that 7 BC machine looking pretty good. So hope he keeps it that way and he gets a good finish, because one more spot will be in the booth.
Yeah, we'll finally get to talk to Mr. Lesh one more time, and be good to see that. But still a long race to go. Still, again, not even at the halfway point. So a lot of racing here, and we've still got the top 5 now on the track that have yet to pit, as Brent Kirby now sacrifices his position, and he's going to bring that thing into pit lane. I thought he was having an issue there. That was just him just coming out of pit lane right there. But now,
I don't think he stopped. I think he just drove through.
No, he did. He had a 22-second pit stop.
Oh, did he?
So, yep,
okay.
He's going to file back out here in 9th position. And he is going to be the first and only car 1 lap down, as Jeff Ryan is back there 3 laps down in 10th place. Peter Perzucek is still in pit lane, so it looks like he's still going to give it a go, but he is back here 6 laps down. And then Camidlin is out of the race 8 laps down in 12th. Bouchard and Bennett never got a chance to run here tonight. So got 10 guys on the track and an 11th one in the pits. But it is Tommy Ryan at the point right now by 11.5 seconds now over Grady Gherkin. Really starting to stretch that lead out. And I mean, he can relax here a little bit. This gives him a chance to kind of save those tires. You don't want to do that right there.
Off track.
And maybe that's why Tommy Ryan was going a little bit wide there too, just to give it a little bit of a wide berth. Now you catch a little bit of grass going in, and pretty good save there by the 24, knowing that he's already used his faster pair did everything in his power to keep it off the wall, and that's a very good job, and even a good job of rejoining there and staying as far to the right as possible. It allows the 60 to get by, so I'm sure he's happy to see that, but he's going to see that 24 in his mirrors again pretty soon.
Yeah, and that's just product of Andrew trying to do the most he can with his car, and it just got a little late and just cut that grass just a little bit, and that's one of the things I kind of wish iRacing would change just a little bit. I think a slipper of grass or a half a tire gonna make your car feel like it's on all on ice sometimes with iRacing, but in either case, Tommy Ryan's doing a great job being out front over Grady Gherkin. Matthew Simmons is in third, Jake Lesh is in fourth, and JP Phillips is in fifth.
Well, the two guys behind him are not just battling to try and get back in the lead lap, they're battling for position, as Ratcliffe is in 8th place and Brent Kirby back there in 9th. Both those guys 1 lap down right behind their leader, and not too far ahead of them is the 59 of Trevor Hunt, but now Tommy Ryan gonna just get out of the way, and just, boys, you just go ahead and have your battle. I'm getting out of here, I'm going to the pits, and he is gonna peel off from 1st place. Grady Gherkin gonna follow him right behind there, and he's gonna come into pit lane. Looks like Matthew Simmons gonna stay out at least for another lap. He's gonna take over the lead here. And then we take a look back there to see if Jake Lesh is coming in. He's a little bit further back, but Tommy Ryan gonna come in here, as is Grady Gherkin, and we're down to 3 guys that have yet to pit. Jake Lesh coming around, and he's gonna go around for another lap. And then the other one that is yet to pit is in 5th place right now, JP Phillips. But
I'm wondering if that lap 25, 26 is their pit window, or if it's just a number that they came up with because it's halfway, that to just go ahead and pit then and get fresh tires and the rest of the fuel that they need to get around here. But I'm kind of curious on how long some of these guys can stay out, as we had Matthew Simmons and Jake Lesh both stay out, and they're the only ones that have stayed out. I wonder how much farther they can go with these cars here tonight.
We're about to find out as Matthew Simmons come around the final couple corners. See if he comes in this time. Jake Lesh is in 2nd, but he is all the way back in the bus stop, 24.25 seconds behind. So we'll see if Simmons elects to come in this time by, and no, he is going to stay out for another lap yet. So running this thing as far as he can, and I don't mind this strategy. He's in clean air right now. He knows he's one of the faster cars. He may lose a little bit of time right now to the guys that have already come in to pit lane, but he should have that advantage when he comes into pit lane and gets those tires. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how this plays out. But Jake Lesh now coming around the final corners, and he is going to come into pit lane. So that just leaves Matthew Simmons and no, actually just Matthew Simmons. He's the only one that has yet to pit in this race, as JP Phillips came in last time. So now I think is the time where, I mean, if you're Simmons and you can go one more lap, I think one more lap is about the max I would go. I wouldn't want to go too far and give those guys the speed advantage with those new tires.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we all know that fresh tires, obviously, the majority of the time. Ooh, Tommy got so close to the grass there. But, usually fresh tires, you get them faster lap times. So they'll be dipping back into the 119s as Tommy here is going down to the bus stop in front of Justin Kirby, which had to pit early. So knowing that about 25, 26 laps is that looks to be that window. Again, I'm not 100% sure. Would only take him to lap 37. So
yeah. So if it was if that was the window right about the halfway mark, he's not going to make it to the end. But Matthew Simmons now coming into pit lane, going to sacrifice the lead back over to Tommy Ryan, and we'll see where he is going to come out. As Ryan going by right now, and Justin Kirby going by as well. So Simmons is going to fall back just a little bit here, but he's going to have the freshest tires in the field. We'll see what he can do with them, as these guys are back out there running some of their fastest laps of the race, back in the 117s for a couple of guys. Justin Kirby in the 119s, but again, he's pit back there on lap number 12, so that's where it's really going to hurt him. He may be able to make this thing to the end, but how much is he going to be off pace compared to the rest of these guys?
Well, what we've seen is it's not just about being quick, it's being consistent and keeping your car clean, and Justin's been able to do that since the incident, and which has put him behind. Obviously, adding the extra pit stop if he needs to stop again, but currently running in second. But Tommy's out there, like you said, with fresh tires, leading this thing right now. He has 5.5 seconds and gaining over Justin Kirby. Then back to Grady Gherkin in third. Matthew Simmons is in fourth. Trevor Hunt up to fifth place. Andrew Ratcliffe's in sixth. Brent Kirby's in seventh. Jake Lesha is back out on the track in eighth, and JP Phillips in ninth. Then you have Jeff Ryan 3 laps down in 10th. Peter Pazuchik 8 laps down in 11th. And Chris Camidlin is out for the evening, along with Chris Bouchard and Travis Bennett. Back to Brent here, battling.
So we are past our halfway point now. We're on lap 29, and you see the best battle on the track right here is between Brent Kirby and Andrew Ratcliffe, still kind of nose to tail and battling now for the 7th position. But since we are past the halfway and getting close to the start of lap number 30 here, it's about time to shut our mics down, crank these guys up, and give you a little Watkins Glen Forever Panels. Love to hear it.
Yeah, and it doesn't, still looks like that Brent has damage on the right front of that car, so I don't know if he had went ahead and checked his fast repair when he came in to make that stop, but it's still getting around here at a pretty decent clip. And sometimes when you take a little damage, it might make the car feel better, or just it's like an awkward thing. I mean, like you said here, you're really not worried too much about aerodynamics, as you've got plenty of power for down the straightaways. Right now, Tommy Ryan out front, still over Justin Kirby in second. Grady Gherkin's in third. Matthew Simmons in fourth. Trevor Hunt's in fifth. Andrew Ratcliffe is in sixth. Brent Kirby here in seventh. Jake Lesh is in eighth. JP Phillips in ninth. And then you have Jeff Bryan, Peter Pazuchik, Chris Camidlin, Chris Bouchard, Travis Bennett for our 14-car field with the Forever Panels. 125 Watkins Glen, sponsored by Chris Camidlin. We just had a crash back here with Jeff Ryan, and we'll check that out to see what happened as he come down into turn one. And probably just a little too much gas as he tried to collect it and nosed it into the outside wall here. And he's going to go ahead and tow that 67 machine back to the...
So I'm guessing, Jimmy, you did not hear me the entire time when I was mentioning about the love to hear it.
No. No, love to hear it. I had to keep talking. I guess I love to hear myself talk.
Yeah.
But we can go ahead and bring these vehicles up to life here, and we'll change the camera views to some of the sights and sounds that you want to hear. But it looks... Oh, wait a minute. Justin Kirby is in the pits. Justin Kirby entering the pits. I think it's just a normal pit stop as he is coming to the end of his fuel stint, I'm sure. So now coming in for his final pit stop. And I guess the one thing about Justin's pit stop before we go to love to hear it is that he might be able to make up a little bit of time, only because he only needs he doesn't need a full tank of fuel to make it the rest of the way. So I guess that's one way to maybe help him out to maybe catch a little bit of time. But with that being said and whatnot, we're going to go to love to hear it. while. We took a short break there. Listen to the sights and sounds of Watkins Glen here for the Forever Panels 125 with the drivers of UCRL. Matthew Simmons has taken over P number 2, Carl, and man, is he on a move as he's gaining anywhere between, a second, 7/10, 8/10, 6/10, and then that lap there, almost another 2/10 on the leader. He has a 13 second deficit that he needs to chew away on Tommy Ryan. Does he have enough time to do so?
I mean, I think he does, but I'm kind of wondering if that last lap there being only about a tenth of a second, if that was Tommy Ryan kind of looking at the relative and like, I think I need to get on the gas here a little bit. So we'll see what kind of times he's able to reel in the next couple laps here. But I mean, you see his times are just getting faster and faster as he ran the 19.4 right there, the fastest of those last 5 laps. Oh no, actually, sorry, that's Tommy Ryan's time. So yeah, Tommy Ryan getting a little bit faster, but I mean, Simmons is the fastest car on the track right now, and he is trying to get up there and trying to get back into position to once again take over the lead and hopefully not have the same kind of issues going into the S's this time.
Yeah, and go back here at the other battle that's pursuing. Was going to switch to Andrew as he cuts across the grass there, but trying to catch back up to Brent Kirby as Andrew having a little bit of difficulty here tonight, and he's not a great road driver. Oh, hang on to it, buddy. A great save there. I mean, Andrew can drive at 87, unlike most drivers I've seen, and just does amazing things with it, but he's just struggling here, and I don't know if it's just the entrances and the exits, or the all the weight shifting from left to right that kind of messes with them a little bit. But obviously it shows great signs, and maybe just more practice to some road courses. I know everybody's busy and they do what they can, but it's not very often you get the 87s on a road course, and a lot of people don't practice it much, but doing a pretty good job as he's up to 6th place. Brent Kirby doing a fantastic job, up 7th positions. He started in the back, kind of got involved in an incident early on, but continues to move that number 57 forward as he's up in that 5th spot. But Trevor Hunt, obviously he was, the camera's really close on that one, was wrapped up in an incident early as well, as he's sitting in the 4th position, and with his Black Dog machine. So he's doing a pretty good job keeping steady since the incident that he had, but would like to, I'm sure, catch up to Grady Gherkin, who is in 3rd at number 46. Not too far back from Matthew Simmons, but losing time each lap to Matthew Simmons as he still continues each lap to just kind of chew away, trying his dangest to catch up to Tommy Ryan. But he's almost at that point, Carl, where it's he needs almost a full second a lap, and he's gonna need Tommy to mess up.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when Tommy's running in the 119.4s this late in the run. There's only so much you can grab. I mean, these tires are now starting to wear in a little bit more. They're about 13 laps on the tires right now, and about midlife through the cycle. So there's only so much more grip that's out there. Matthew Simmons has the benefit of having the newest tires out there, pitting 2 laps after Tommy Ryan, but that only takes you so far. And when Tommy Ryan's going to be clicking off these 19.4s lap after lap, to get an 18.4 is very, very, very highly unlikely at this point.
Yeah, and it's the temperature of the track, the grip of the tires, just how much is left, and Matthew's gonna give it all he's got, and I'm sure he's gonna try as he continues to tick away. But it looks like the first lap at about 10 laps, not able to make any headway on Tommy Ryan, as he was 0.04 of a second slower on that last lap than Tommy. So looks like the times are still coming down slowly, and I guess that might be just because of where they're out of the track. But we're going to keep watching these 2 drivers as they battle for position. Matthew Simmons has a great deal of distance to catch up to battle for the lead, as he is in second place, and then Grady Gherkin 6 seconds back from Matthew Simmons. So I'm sure Grady's back there, maybe hoping, because Matt's pushing so hard that he'll slip and make a mistake and be able to take that P number 2, as Trevor Hunt would be be happy to see either one of those gentlemen up front mess up, as he is being hunted by Brent Kirby, not too far behind him, as he's ticking away half a lap or half a second a lap, catching up to Trevor Hunt.
Well, trying to look at the laps here and when people came in at pits, because Brent Kirby had a little bit of pace, but it seems like he's got more pace now. So not sure if Brent Kirby and Justin pit around the same time, and maybe Justin hopped in that car to really get a move on. But yeah, Brent Kirby doing a good job moving up through the field right now in P number 5. Looks like most of the positions are kind of sealed up where they are, at least for the moment. But this is your best battle on the track. And that is JP Phillips hunting down Jake Lesh for 7th place. Or Zuchek just getting by Justin Kirby, who is out of the race. And it's going to show you, even though you're 8 laps down, doesn't mean you should just go ahead and give up. So a good job of Zuchek staying out there, and it's gained him a position because of it.
Yeah, a lot of people, they get frustrated when they wreck, because everybody's highly competitive and they want to do the best they can. And it does pay to just stay in the car, get out there, turn some laps, maybe watch some of the drivers around you, and pick something up new, and try to gain any position, because on road courses you can see how fast, you can just take yourself out and not have yourself in contention for any kind of podium. But right now, JP Phillips starting from the back, up 5 spots from tonight, just keeping his car clean. Looks like he's going to walk away with a top 10 tonight in that 22 Milwaukee machine. So, good job on JP, and he's still plenty of time, as we have 11 laps remaining, as we're on lap 41 of 51 here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, the time for Tommy Ryan out front is kind of settling off right now at that 12.1, 12.2 mark. So they've kind of leveled off, and you see just kind of back and forth a little bit, where Simmons is going to lose time a couple laps and then gain a chunk back. So I think Ryan can kind of back off it a little bit again, kind of like he did in the first run, and just be smooth out here, try and save as much as possible. That way, if for some reason he has an issue, he's still got plenty of time in hand and plenty of tires in hand that he can mount a little bit of a battle. But I don't think that's really going to happen. Ryan being pretty clean out here tonight. Another battle right here. I mean, these guys right here in 5th and 6th, Brent Kirby and Andrew Ratcliffe. I don't think they've been too far spread apart for the last 15-20 laps at this point. Ratcliffe doing everything he can to try and run down Brent Kirby, but I'd say he wasn't, but he is reeling him in on that last lap. I mean, 0.3 of a second faster on the last one here, but I think Brent is just trying extra hard to run down Trevor Hunt there in 4th place. Both the teammates maybe chatting it up here a little bit, and maybe getting a little chippy, saying that he's coming to get him. But a good run again. I mean, either way, you have Trevor Hunt in 4th, you got Brent Kirby in 5th, but then you look at your team out front there with Turn and Burn Motorsports, as they've got Grady Gherkin there in 3rd. They've got Andrew Ratcliffe in 6th, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe Tommy Ryan's part of Black Magic Motorsports.
Yeah.
So they are actually 1, 4, and 5 right now. So another good week for Black Magic.
Yeah, it's fun to see the team points and the team standings, and it's they take just as much pride into finishing the best they can, kind of grouped up in the top. It's just as much as taking as an individual win. So, but right now it's the battle here is between Brent Kirby and Andrew Ratcliffe, as Andrew is slowly but surely trying to get to that bumper of Brent and see if he can make a move and get by him as these closing laps come down to the finish here. But Tommy Ryan has plenty of distance out in front to secure this win here. Just needs to continue his race on a nice smooth run as he's been doing so far this race. And then obviously Matthew Simmons, good comeback after getting wrapped up early with Justin Kirby to bring that 49 car back into P2 and doing the best he can to track down Tommy, but I think he's just running out of laps. Jake Lesh.
Looks like Jake Lesh having a bit of an issue here.
Oof.
And yeah, that was the off track that SDK caught. Hopefully the crash was just him spinning sideways, as SDK loves to call out crashes when drivers are just spinning their tires, and it looks like a pretty good save here by the 7. And man, I tell you what, from all the different ways that you can get it wrong into turn 1, that was pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, again, if we just, well, go ahead, I'll just rewind it here just a little bit, and you can see how obviously just catching just a little. I think it's just late on the late on the broops. Well, he was a little bit late on the brakes, as he was. Yeah, he was just coming down here on the brakes, and he just hit the brakes, and the rear end just goes. So just didn't have the weight to where the car wanted to be, and just the rear end kind of going around, but catching it, keeping the car clean, able to continue this race here as we are now a lap 45 of 51.
Yeah, turn 1's just it's kind of funky. You really need to be as straight as possible, and it looked like he was cocked to the side just a little bit when he went to get on the brakes, and that's what did it. But yeah, it's downhill in a turn 1, but it's also got a bit of a banking kind of leading in towards the turn. So that's why you seen earlier when Przuchek was on the inside there, and he broke, and he was kind of pointing up towards the hill a little bit. It's kind of the same when you're on some of the bigger tracks on the ovals, and you brake kind of you brake towards the bottom by the apron. It's going to want to snap you up towards the track, and that's what we've seen a little bit right there, I think, again. But right now, it is a pretty big gap between just about everybody except for, obviously, the battle between Brent Kirby and Andrew Ratcliffe is down to 1.4 seconds, but everybody else spread out pretty good here, as Tommy Ryan enjoying a 12-second lead over Matthew Simmons. Grady Gherkin in third, another 10 seconds back. Another 28 seconds back to Trevor Hunt in fourth. 3.5 seconds back to Brent Kirby in fifth. And then you got the 24 still trying to hunt and get up there with Brent Kirby, but just having a tough time doing it. He's back there about 1.7 seconds back. Another 14 back to JP Phillips now in seventh. And then after the little bit of a slide and spin there, Jake Lesh is in 8th place, 4.3 behind JP Phillips.
Yeah, then the rest of our field would be Peter Przuchek, Justin Kirby, Jeff Ryan, Chris Comidlin, Chris Bouchard, and Travis Bennett. So, 12 drivers that started the field. Chris and Travis obviously having internet issues here tonight, not being able to make it out on track. But Tommy Ryan looking to take the win here shortly, as we only have 5 laps remaining, Carl.
Jimmy, did we lose you there, or you're cutting out there a little bit?
Nope. I'm still here. Can you hear me?
There he is.
Yep, no, Tommy Ryan still looking to take this win here. 5 laps remaining. Tommy Ryan out on top over Matthew Simmons, Grady Gherkin, Trevor Hunt, and Brent Kirby for your top 5. Andrew Ratcliffe still hunting down Brent Kirby. 1.5 seconds back as that battle for 5th position continues to build. Then back in 7th place is JP Phillips, Jake Lesh in 8th, Peter Przuchek in 9th, Justin Kirby, Jeff Ryan, Chris Comidlin, Chris Bouchard, and Travis Bennett. Round out your drivers that started the evening. Some were unable to do the race here as the internet gremlins were out and sacrificed, I guess, 2 drivers.
Yeah, and I mean, weren't we talking about this last season in the Man Cave After Dark Truck Series with Chris Bouchard and his internet issues? I thought we got this all corrected. I mean, he was having some issues back then blinking, and the blinking's gotten worse. It's blinked out entirely for him now. So
I mean, as far as the drivers out of the track go, I mean, I'm sure they're happy that he just blinked instead of just out and back, because I mean that can get frustrating, and it's nothing you can do. It's the internet, and you try to have the best connection and enjoy your time on the service, and if you're just not in an area that has the best internet, it really is a big dampener. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm a little spoiled, so I don't know what I would do without AT&T and fiber internet.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not fun. It's just enough, I guess, to do what I want to do here, but barely. I mean, I very rarely, I gotta say, knock on wood, I very rarely have the issues of blinking or anything like that, but sometimes it gets a little wonky and it just doesn't want to agree. But I mean, compared to like Chris Bouchard and Travis Bennett having to miss a race because of their internet, I guess I can't complain too much. I haven't had those issues. But speaking of issues, Andrew Ratcliffe looking like he had a little bit of issues as he's dropped back a good amount now from Brent Kirby, and we'll take a look at it right here coming down into the bus stop. And that's not the angle that you'd like to take going in there as he clips the wall going in. A good job riding the ship pretty quickly here, and didn't look like too much damage right there, unless it caught the right rear the wrong way. But gets it back going here, and he's going to stay in the 6th position, and he's still got about 4.5 seconds in between him and JP Phillips, so should be able to hang on here unless there's any kind of damage, but I'm not seeing anything on this camera here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a couple of minutes. It looks like he came out unscathed, as he just slightly touched the wall or bounced off it, but the car seems to be okay, as he had a scare there, as he might be in danger of losing this position, the 6th position, to JP Phillips. One of the drivers has kept the 22 clean all night, just kind of cruising around here trying to get himself a great finish, and he's doing that looks like he'll finish in that P number 6 as we're on lap 49 of 51. Ryan out front over Matthew Simmons in the 49. Grady Kirkin in 3rd in the 46. Back to Trevor Hunt in 4th. Brent Kirby has made his way up to P number 5. Then again, Andrew Ratcliffe in the 24 in 6th. JP Phillips in 7th. Jake Lesh in 8th. Peter Przuchek out there, the Canadian. Molson, the Buick in 9th. Justin Kirby, Jeff Ryan, Chris Camidlin, Chris Bouchard, and Travis Bennett not able to finish here tonight. So anyways, I'm back up front with Tommy Ryan as he continues to lead the field here tonight, getting around Jake Lesh, putting him a lap down. 7 cars on a lead lap and 2 laps remaining.
Yeah, I think we should hop on board here with Tommy here for a lap and just see how much you really have to work the wheel on this track. And it's I'm assuming he's working it the least amount possible, as he's been pretty clean and pretty steady this entire time around here. Sure, are we on the gyro cam, or are we on the cockpit cam?
This is the roll bar. Try to get back in the back behind the driver just a little bit, as you can see the driver off to the left, as how much the car bounces around. But looks like he's a pretty smooth, Carl, to be honest.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we probably won't get that on the camera here, because it's on my left monitor. I don't know about you, Jimmy.
Oh, it's on my center monitor on the broadcast.
Yeah, okay, perfect. It's just me. Apparently, I'm zoomed way in. But yeah, I mean, he's obviously he's been one of the smoothest out here. So It may be funnier taking a run on board with Andrew Ratcliffe right now, because he certainly wasn't having the best bet here tonight, and probably
a little bit different. As you can see him saw the wheel already. I'll go see if I'll hop on cockpit for you, and then you can see the top of his hands just working that car. He's definitely fighting the car a little bit more than what Tommy was.
Yeah, just a smidgen still fighting that thing. And, man, I mean, I know we typically only interview the top 3, but I'd love to get a earful from my Andrew Ratcliffe after this one. So maybe if and when we interview him, in 2 weeks for his next one, I'll have to. Let's go back to Watkins Glen. Let's talk about Watkins Glen a little bit. He's probably gonna have to take a shower after this one, just shower off the sorrows of this one. But Tommy Ryan is the man of the hour here tonight. He has been pretty deadly here. He had to have some help here as Justin Kirby and Matthew Simmons get together going into the S turn, and he was able to get by and really never looked back. As now coming around the final corners, 11.5 seconds in the lead, and Tommy Ryan is going to take the Forever Panels 125 at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, congratulations, Tommy. Good run. Nice, clean, steady pace, to bring it on in here. And then Matthew Simmons coming home in a P number 2 in that number 49 Continental.
Third place is going to be Grady Gherkin coming around the final corners right now. Back another 18 seconds behind second place. So this field really got spread out here. But Gherkin doing a good job, and he's going to bring the 46 home in third.
Yeah, that's something we're used to seeing these guys, these drivers all spread out like this. As Trevor Hunt trying to hold on to P number 4 as Brett Kirby goes flying off into the kitty litter. Ooh, that might give Andrew Ratcliffe the time to get him back.
No,
a little bit too far back.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be another battle here at the end. But Brett doing anything he could to possibly take that P number 4 from Trevor Hunt, and
I think it was
not able to do so.
There was no team orders to keep the 57 behind the 59 right there. He absolutely said it.
You got last corner. You got to try something, right?
Yeah, that's something right there.
Andrew Ratcliffe coming home in a P number 6, and then P number 7 is JP Phillips, and then you have Jake Lech in 8th and Peter Pazuchek in 9th, and then Justin Kirby, Jeff Ryan, Chris Camidlin, Chris Bouchard, and Travis Bennett all out for the remainder of the race as they retired early. So congratulations to Tommy Ryan, Matthew Simmons, and Grady Gherkin as we wait for them to get to the broadcast booth after that long and tedious race in the 87 here at the Forever Panels 125 at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, a good race. I mean, obviously some guys struggled out here. It's not easy. I mean, we talked about it in the pre-race. Getting this thing around here is not anything like your typical road cars, like your GT3s or your LMPs. It's a very tough car to get around the track. But these guys doing a good job, and we'll start to bring in our top 3 here, and we're going to start with the third place driver, and that's going to be the 46 of Grady Gherkin. And Grady, just kind of a nice smooth ride from you tonight. It didn't look like you're pushing that car too much, and just kind of taking what it's given you.
Yeah, you pretty much summed it up right there. When I talked to you guys the other week, I was definitely not looking forward to this one. But we managed to pull it together. I'd say it's probably about a 5th or 6th place car, but with some of those guys in front of me having issues and getting tangled up, we were fortunate to come out of here with 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, talk about what the issue was with the car here tonight. Maybe was it one with the track temperatures being so hot? I mean, was it really pushy? It seemed like a lot of guys were dealing with a bit of a push going in, and then a bit of a looseness trying to just get any bit of throttle down.
Yeah, so it seemed like if you try to get into like turn 1 or some of those ones, you had to brake a little harder. If you came in too hot, you could spin it out pretty easy there. Turn 5, the carousel, I feel like killed me all race long. I felt like I lost so much time there. I need to figure that corner out. That would be a little more beneficial, but it's always been like that. Anytime I come here, I feel like I'm so slow through there, and there's nothing I can do to make it better, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help with these cars either. I mean, we talk about this not, yeah, they've driven this thing on the road back then, but this is not a great road car. I don't think there's too many NASCARs that really are good road cars, but yeah, here tonight it was a bit of a handful for some of the guys, but you seem to keep it clean, and there weren't too many guys that finished this thing off with a clean looking car. I mean, very few guys had a clean car at the end of this race, and you were able to do that. So was that kind of your goal from the beginning?
Yeah, I just wanted to keep the car clean. I figured if I could minimize my mistakes and kind of take advantage of other people's mistakes, I would be sitting okay. Trevor was catching me there earlier in the run. I think he was a little bit better than me. And then you had Tommy, I think it was Matthew and Justin were like in a league of their own up there. So yeah, it would have been probably about a 5th or 6th place.
Well, either way, you got your 3rd place here tonight, so a good podium finish, and maybe reaching above what you expected to have here. But certainly not going to complain about it. And a good night, a good run for the points here. You're able to finally get up on that 24 a little bit as we were watching him just absolutely struggle out here tonight. And I'm sure a lot of the drivers may look back at this race and look back at this broadcast and just love every minute of this before we get back to probably a little bit of the same next week as we head to I lost the schedule here now. As we head to
Michigan.
Michigan. There we go.
Yeah,
Michigan. Forgetting how far we are in this season already.
Yeah, we're getting down there. That's for sure. Yeah, when I didn't hear back from Jimmy about running tonight for me, then I figured I ought to practice a little bit. So
after the race I had last night, you didn't want me in that car.
Yeah, that's all right. But
well, either way, a good finish here tonight, a good 3rd place, and you finally finished this thing. And it seemed like it was a tough race for a lot of guys. So it probably seemed a bit of like an endurance race out here tonight. So good job on the 3rd place. And anyway, you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks for the guys that came out and ran tonight. I know it's getting later in the season and the car count's kind of dropping, but we had a handful more sign up than what I actually expected. So that was pretty cool. Thanks for Scott putting the league on. It's a good time. Thank you guys for the broadcasting. You always keep it interesting. I like watching them. You guys are funny. So I appreciate what you do.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate that as well. So we'll try and keep it lively up here for you for sure. But good job out here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate with the team.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
That the 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 46 of Grady Gherkin. Now we'll switch over to the 2nd place. And Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take our 2nd place finisher, the 49 of Matthew Simmons.
Well, I've seen Matt jumping in and out of the broadcast booth. I think somebody's excited to be on the podium tonight. So, Matthew, do you hear? It's me, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth.
Sorry, I'm
hold on a second. Let me turn.
Right now.
Yeah, I got to turn you up so we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
Right. There you go. No, I just wanted to say congratulations to PD number 2 tonight here, as you did a fantastic job coming back from the incident that you had early on. That you got tangled up with Justin for the lead, but you were able to keep that 49 going. And if it wasn't for that incident, I think you would have been able to give Tommy a run for the money, as you're one of the faster cars out here on the track. Why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown how your night went for you?
Yeah, honestly, I have to give my fullest apologies to Justin Kirby. He was running really well. I was starting to catch on him. And if you look at the replay, you'll see that Justin may have braked a little bit more than I thought, and he carried a little less momentum. And I was going to carry a little bit more momentum. I had a little bit of a run, and it just caught me off guard, and I I'm gonna blame myself for that one. I feel like we could have gotten some good racing out of that, but
I mean, from up here in the, I mean, obviously it was coming out of turn one, and you described it, about what we saw was, maybe Justin not getting the run out of one to go up into the S's, and iRacer myself, I know that you can get one crazy run going up those S's if you get a great run out of one to carry that momentum, and if the guy in front of you is just a little bit slow, it kind of messes with you just a little bit. And I think it was just the slightest of touches, and you guys did like a simultaneously basically a slide, and it didn't look like too much damage was done, but Justin came in for a and you were able to stay out.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was like an intentional dump at all. He said
no, I did not see that.
Yeah, he messaged me and said that I said thanks for the dump, but I wouldn't count it as a dump because we took each other out. Why would you dump someone in the S's? I mean, this isn't like the 2012 Watkins Glen race, where I think Brad spun out Kyle Busch or whatever. Like, it wasn't going to be that situation. I mean, it was like lap 15, 20. I forgot what lap it was on, but it was early in the race. Why would I dump him?
Yeah, I think it's just hard racing by two great drivers, and racing incidents happen out there. I'm sure you guys can have a little discussion and keep it going until next week. But again, we wanted to give you a little bit of time to, tell you what happened out there, and I'll give you a little bit of time to give any shout-outs that you may have before we let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
I'm not sure who's viewing, but I just want to shout out my girlfriend Connie and my dad. Everyone was pretty respectful. Like, all the lap cars were pretty chill. I think Justin I think he had like an incident with one of the lap cars. I think it was like Peter or someone. Not sure what that was about. Yeah, it was a fun race. I actually had a fun time this time.
Again, yeah, I mean, race incidents happens, and you talk about them, and you work through them, and you go about to the next race. But next week's Michigan. What are your thoughts, and how do you think you're going to do next week?
I don't think I've ever raced Michigan in this car. Honestly, the handling, how I'm probably going to guess it is that it's probably going to be similar to Atlanta, but yeah, hopefully it's just not going to be really loose on entry, like how most of the setups are for like 1.5 miles and above. Not sure how Michigan's going to be like. Like doing the open races, like the official sessions, I haven't done too well, but it is a fun track.
Well, in any case, we hopefully that you have an excellent race there on that 2 mile track, and things work out for you, and maybe we'll see you next week up in the booth. But until then, again, congratulations, and we'll talk to you later.
Yep. Bye.
That is your second place finisher, the 49 of Matthew Simmons. And now finally we get to our winner here tonight. And Tommy, it looked like you had a little bit of luck, obviously, in the beginning there with Justin and Matthew going out in front of you, and you're able to get by. But you really kept that car clean. You really kind of focused on just kind of being smooth out there, and it helped you just check out in front of everybody.
Yeah, that was that we started the race there. I was just trying to keep pace with Justin and them. They were pulling me about an average of about a tenth a lap, so I was realistically a third place car, maybe even fourth place for that matter. And when those two got in each other, I was just like, as long as the caution doesn't come out and I just stay consistent, I should walk away with it. And that's all it was. I was just racing the track at that point, and then when I got around other cars, I was just trying to give plenty of room and just keep my eye on everything that was going on around me. So it felt like an endurance race, man. I'm pretty worn out.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I said to Grady Gherkin. It seemed like even though this thing was only 51 laps in this car, it had to have taken a toll. I mean, we watched you behind the wheel, and it seemed like you were smooth. When we watched some of the other drivers, we were sitting in with Andrew Ratcliffe for a lap, and definitely a different case, as he had to saw the wheel back and forth by that time. But what was your goal kind of heading into this race? Was it just to be safe and smooth and keep the car clean the entire time, and kind of wherever you finish, or did you have a win possibly in mind?
Yeah, I mean, and that's half of it, man. Just keeping it on racetrack and just being consistent. But the goal was to try to get the best track position I could in qualifying, which I did. I think it was somewhere around third. So I had that going for me, and I was just like, okay, I just got to, stay in touch with the leaders here, and, maybe something will happen, do some pit strategy wise, give me a little bit of time. And who knows if the caution was going to come out. So it's kind of a crapshoot at the beginning. I just, the main thing is you just got to keep tabs on the leader. Don't let them get too far away from you, because for some reason you get out of touch, they're gone, and it's, they just walk. You never see them again. So that was the biggest goal, is just keeping with those guys, run consistent laps, and don't kill yourself. Don't beat yourself tonight.
When it certainly worked out, and that recipe was exactly what you need here tonight. But Brent wins at Dover, Justin wins at Pocono, and now you win at Watkins Glen. And taking a look at the casino odds here, it looks like Trevor Hunt is a plus 100 favorite for Michigan. I mean, it might as well go 4 for Black Magic, correct?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the fields are pretty small, and I mean, we make up 4 out of 14 tonight. So I mean, the odds are pretty pretty good, and we got some speed on our team as well. Not the luck has got to get a little bit better, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, we should be winning a lot. We put in a little practice time, so we're prepared when we get to every racetrack and understand what it's going to take to make the car go fast. So,
well, I mean, it's you grab your third win on the season here, and obviously Brent and Justin have their wins already. So is Trevor on the hot seat now? Like, I mean, does he have to get a win here by the end of the season, or are you guys gonna just talk crap on him until he does?
Yeah, a little bit of both, I guess. But we got to get Trevor some luck. It's his car is getting put in some bad situations, and it's just unfortunate circumstances. We just got to get him in position, and he gets himself there. He'll get it. It's just that he's just having some real bad luck. That's all I can choke it up.
So looking at the remainder of the schedule, only 3 races left, and no more road courses, but 3 completely different oval races. You got Michigan, you got Phoenix, and you got Atlanta. So are there any others that you're kind of targeting for your 4th win, or maybe multiple wins for the end of the season?
I think all of them will be very fun. Obviously, tire wear and everything comes into play with all those. Especially you get to like places like Michigan, man, you can burn the tires to the ground if you're not careful. So those are going to be. They should really put on some good racing for us, even though we may only have 15, 20 cars show up, but it should be a hell of a show. Because we hit the ovals, man, everybody's pretty quick. So it's you just, like I say, man, you just gotta watch your butt, man, all the time. You just don't know when the things. Sometimes they just take off. You're just not sure what just happened. But I about had a moment down here in turn 1. I mean, I was on the brakes, and all of a sudden, the thing just felt like it blew a right front tire or something, and it just turned to the left really quick. And I was like, it happened to me in practice too, so I was kind of wary of it. But it's kind of scary when it happens when you're not expecting.
Hey, absolutely. Well, you didn't have too many of those moments, and you kept that thing nice and clean, and then brought the 60 home for another victory. So before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, thanks to my teammates. They always get me prepared. I don't really show up for practice with anything but a helmet and a steering wheel, and they get me the setups, and we go out there and they kind of give me some pointers of what I need to be doing. So thanks to all those guys. Trent's usually setting up service for us. So great teammates. And then Northern Tool and Equipment. So go to northerntool.com and buy all your shovels and stuff, and summer projects, and we'll see you guys at the next one.
All right, sounds like a plan. Well, congrats again on your win, and we'll possibly see you next week.
Yep. See you guys.
That your winner here tonight, the 60 of Tommy Ryan, and make it look pretty easy. And it needed a little bit of help in the beginning, and then from there on out, it was all him. And he had a hard charging, hungry Matthew Simmons at the end, but just too big of a gap for Simmons to make up, as Ryan comes away with a almost 12-second win here tonight. But the road course is not for everybody, and I think about half the field were okay with it tonight. I don't know if anybody was really looking forward to it, other than some of the guys that unfortunately dealt with the internet gremlins with Travis Bennett and Chris Bouchard. But it's Tommy Ryan that takes it home here tonight.
Yeah, Travis Bennett and Chris Bouchard are quick on the road races. They, were in the, I raced Sonoma in the Gen 4s. I guess a good portion of the drivers that participate here in the Top Gun series. And some of them were out there and quick. And that's why you heard Grady kind of joking, because I finished, I think it was 5th or 6th place. That's why he was trying to draft me for driving tonight. But as I had a fairly decent run at Sonoma, and I thought I was going to do really bad. But my hats off to these guys to come out here, get these big heavy cars around this track, to do it for 51 laps, and to keep going even when they were having problems, and go and get your car fixed, come back out here and put on a show for the fans that show up here at CRN. And appreciate everybody that comes out, everybody that comes back and watches. If you're you come back and you're watching the replay, thank you. Please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't. We continue to support all the iRacers out here as we continue to put more and more on the plate of CRN. And sometimes we might be looking for more help here soon with the amount of rations that we're divvying out over this iRacing service. But congratulations to Tommy, Matthew, and Grady for the 1, 2, 3 finish, and look forward to seeing them next week.
Yeah, and as Jim was saying, we're just stacked with broadcasters. So if broadcasts, we got 12 on the weeks with Top Gun, and even still 11 on the weeks without them for every night of the week, 7 nights a week right now. So if you like racing, CRN's where you want to be. And just shout out to these guys here tonight, and really all the series that we put on, as they all put on absolute great performances out here. Thank you for joining us. And in 2 weeks is going to be Michigan, and only 3 races left for these guys. So the championship pretty much locked up, but there's still the team championships that are still going, and getting a little closer to becoming a battle once again here as we come down to the end. But make sure you tune in to the race in 2 weeks here, and the rest of the season for the Top Gun Cup here at UCRL. For myself and Jimmy at Watkins Glen, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.